Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and Kale podcasts.
Let's go.
And welcome to the show. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for joining us today. As we roll along, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting closer and closer to college football season. Baylor Man says it all. 19 days until the talk ceases and teams start putting up their fans start shutting up. Cough, Texas, cough. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because I've got in front of me the first coaches poll of the season. And I thought we'd go over some of that today. I thought that would be kind of fun. I tell you what, if you'd like to support the show, you can do it on PayPal right there. Very simple. Rob Sanders, Cash App. Because I'm sneezing today. Anyway, be sure to send a couple bucks my way. Why not? Maybe you guys could pay for golf this week, as I'm still working on securing my next spot. Things are cooking though. All right, we'll get into that. I do want to bring you into the program, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905, as I will bring up the phones right now. Folks, last night we had a good show with my buddy Carolina Jackpot. Appreciate him and the stuff that he puts out there. That guy puts out. Cause I've got stuff stuck in my teeth today. Anyway, feel free to watch some of his videos. Shout out to Stephen A. Let's see here. Jay wants to know look about Kirby Smart. He's a national championship winning coach, and I respect him for what he's done. So there's that. All right. Anyway, I'll tell you what. I can appreciate the recruiting classes he's put together. Can definitely do that. So hold on a second. Let me get the wife here. She's calling me on the phone. Anyway, I tell you what, here's the big thing though. I respect what Kirby Smart has done there. Won the national title. Managed to keep egos in check there too. That's a big thing. Is Kirby in my top 25 yet? Yes, he is in my top 25. Jimbo Fisher's not though. To hell with him. So there's that. As my son comes and knocks my mirror down. Anyway, technically the show is just wonderful today. It's great that you guys know that generally we try to put on a good show here, as I can't get my light to go up right. Anyway, there, let's just manipulate it a little bit. There we go. Much better. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. All right, now, here's the big thing, though. The coaches poll came out today, and I looked at some of the stuff that's on there. Let me give you some round numbers here. The SEC teams are Alabama at 1, Georgia at 3, Texas A&M at 7, Kentucky at 21, Arkansas at 23, and Ole Miss at 24. Two teams from the East, Georgia and Kentucky. No Tennessee. Sorry about that. But the big travesty here, just judged by talent that's on a team, is the fact that LSU is not ranked in the top 25. Personally, I think that LSU should be in over Kentucky. If you told me I had to pick an SEC team to take out of the list, I would go with Ole Miss or even Arkansas. And I would probably put LSU in over them. No Auburn. Fuck them. They don't deserve to be there anyway. Also, I thought that Mississippi State, with their returning production, should have been in the top 25. I think that people forget that Starkville is there. So there's that. Yeah, so no, I don't have a problem with Tennessee being out because fuck them. You guys know how I feel about Tennessee. Till they actually do something where it's not losing to Purdue, Yeah, I got nothing for them. So, no Tennessee. I do think LSU should be there, and I think Mississippi State should get a lot more than they bargained for in that mix. Your ACC teams that are in the mix here: Clemson at number 4, NC State at 13, Pitt at 16, Miami at 17, Wake at 19. All right, here's the thing with that. I think Clemson is about right. They're in the top 10, in my opinion. NC State, though, you know what? I just don't like Dave Doran. I know they got tons of guys coming back. They're going to be a great defense. Dave Doran can eat a bag of dicks. Pitt at 16, they lost a lot. And I think that might be just a little bit too high. And Miami, I don't get the infatuation with Miami. They must think Mario Cristobal is just going to go in there and just wave a wand and everything's going to be perfect. Yeah, I'm not buying that either. Also, Wake Forest at 19, I like. I think Wake Forest is going to be sneaky good. They've got Hartman coming back at quarterback. As long as he can get over the fact that he threw a damn bunch of shit at as interceptions go in the bowl game, he should be about right. Terry Green online says Dave can kick rocks. Thank you, sir. Cal says Jimbo left FSU in shambles. I don't understand why people are so infatuated with Jimbo Fisher. In addition to being a cuck, he's just not. He's done it shit since the rapist quarterback left him. He should change his name to Jimbo Cuck because that's kind of what he is. All right. Anyway, some other teams in the mix here. I don't. I'm not going to talk about a bunch of Big Ten teams because they're all children of the corn. That's kind of the way I look at that. Notre Dame at 5, Michigan at 6, Utah at 8, Oklahoma at 9, and Baylor at 10. Is anybody really buying the whole Oklahoma at 9? Stinking Riley, as Carolina Jackpot calls him, he's not there anymore. They're bringing in a completely different kind of offense, in my opinion, and I don't know if their defense is going to be worth the salt for a bit. Anyway, we'll see about that. Baylor's probably going to be solid. So, yeah, I like Baylor at 10. Michigan at 5 Michigan at 6 is a joke. Notre Dame's going to lose probably to Ohio State. So, that's the best part about week 1 is those two teams are going to play each other, and one of their fan bases are going to get kicked in the nuts before Labor Day. I like that. Big Barney Ross has joined a cult. I got an air fryer with a Kentucky football on it. I'll probably drop it in the kitchen, just fumble my fries everywhere. Good point, sir. Good point. Uh, Steven says Jimbo probably has a jerk shack like Jackpot. No, we call it a den of sin. That's what he's got. Oh, you're talking about his jerk shack when he was a kid. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Not really the biggest Jimbo Fisher fan, to be completely honest with you. He doesn't do much for me. All right. Good afternoon to Zona Tucson. Yeah, Cal said OU just had a coach resign due to a racial comment. We're at a point now, and I'm not saying that you should go and be spouting racial slurs, but here's the thing. If you do say something, then you have to stand behind it, meaning that if you said these things and basically what had happened is that he was telling his team to take notes. One of the guys actually went to say something, or he walked past one guy, picked up his notepad, and just read it, and that was the first thing on it. So with that, it ended up being kind of silly. Anyway, I think that who was it? Steve sent me a message on Twitter and said, "I think it's a setup to get rid of this guy." And Jason says he was reading someone else's text. Yeah, but if it's a racial slur, you can't get away from it. I mean, it's even if you utter it, people are going to automatically think that you're racist. And I think there may have been some stuff behind the scenes that ended up hurting him a little bit. And I don't know much about the coach. He's been there forever, but we'll see on that. it's really hard to comment on that stuff because we don't know everything behind the scenes. We only know what we were told. Okay. And what we were told is he said something. He said something and he agreed he needed to go. So the red flag is, according to Papa B, is he said the players weren't paying attention and that's on Venables. I give him one more year max. I mean, they're college kids. Some people pay attention, some people don't. I don't think that you can expect Venables to have their attention all the time. So Joe Mixon came out and defended him. We'll see. Stuff like this comes and goes, man. I mean, you got to figure out maybe it was something that was behind the scenes with Venables that he wanted this guy to go away. I don't know. I personally think that there's a slope when it comes to racial slurs that if you're part of that group that is being discriminated against by that word, you can use that word with absolutely no problem. Okay, hello, son. You can use that with and people, whatever, they'll look about it and just go about your merry way. But if you're outside of that group and you use that word, you are Satan, you are evil, you are canceled. Get out. No one else wants to hear from you anymore. So, as a society, I think we need to get to a point where we realize um, if I call you a name, that does not hurt you. Okay? If if I say that Jay is a big dope, okay, that's my opinion of Jay. It's the same thing with Kirby Smart last year. I didn't think he was a top 25 coach. That's my opinion. People get so upset about words. It's just insane. It's sad, and we got to get away from that. Now, on the other end, I have friends that are part of the Black community, and they get upset when people from the Black community drop N bombs. They think that that's not doing anything for their race, which it's not like a racial superiority thing here, but you're not helping to get rid of that word that uh, people don't like if you keep calling yourselves that. And it's the same way with any group. It's a mess, is what it basically boils down to. And I firmly believe I don't use those words in public, private, whatever. And I think that the only way to correct all of that is to teach your kids that they don't say those words. You know, Vista, so we can't read the Adventures of Tom Sawyer. I think it's different, man. It's a case by case thing, and I don't think that it's right with what happened here, but I think there's got to be more in that story. I really, really do. All right, 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. Jason says, how's Baylor looking this season? Asking Baylor man up there. Uh when it comes down to it, they're in the top 10 of the coaches poll, which is kind of interesting. So Papa V says, I think when Rob was a cop, his coworkers used those words. I was never a cop, but okay. You're a little misinformed there, sir. Um, I was part of a boarding team when I was in the Coast Guard, but I guess we did law enforcement. We weren't cops though. All right, 803-470-2905 reaction to the college football coaches top 25 poll. I tell you what, the other names in the mix here, I don't buy. Let's see here. What were the other teams that oh man, I've lost the tab on it. Damn it, Rob. Here we go. This is the coaches voting, by the way. Outside of the top 10, you got Oak State at 11, Oregon at 12. And by the way, that's interesting. Oregon's that high. So under this logic, if we're just using these rankings, the Oregon-Georgia matchup is a 3 versus 12 matchup. And I think Georgia is favored by 17 points. So Las Vegas thinks that, 14 spots excuse me, not 14 spots, 9 spots is worth 17 points. I don't know. I like looking at numbers like that. But when you look down the list here, NC State at 13, I think that might be a little bit too high. Michigan State, Southern Cal. Why do we have such an obsession with Southern Cal? I know they brought a bunch of talent in. We don't know how that's going to work together. But I did find it funny. Tennessee is not ranked, even though here on the show lately we've had people saying they're going 12-0. Yeah, they're not ranked. And LSU's not ranked either. Neither is North Carolina, Mississippi State, Florida. None of those teams are ranked. I thought that was interesting too. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Old number 7 says Las Vegas is about money, not knowledge. Good point. Charles David says Clemson is going to have one of the nastiest defensive units in the country. I think there's still some questions about maybe a little bit in the secondary, but they've got guys that can play there. Defensive line is going to be stout. Stout. Baylorman said same thing with Ohio State and Notre Dame about a 14-point spread. Yeah. And it's weird though. Do you think we're at a point now where your top 5 can all play each other and it would be relatively close? And let's look at the top 5 that are here. The top 5, you have Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, and I guess Notre Dame's in the mix there. If we're going to say the top 5, let's just do the top 4. Do you think those top 4, I think it's the top 4 and then there's a drop off after that. I think everybody else is trying to catch up. And to be completely honest, Clemson may be too high at number 4 because of the questions at quarterback. I read something today and I couldn't believe it was this bad with Uiagalelei. The guy threw for 9 touchdowns last season. Get the fuck out of here. 9 touchdowns. Seriously, he better have 9 touchdowns in the first 3 games of the season, or they're going to go to a quarterback, the quarterback from Texas, Klubnik. If Uiagalelei doesn't go out there against those first 3 teams, which is Georgia Tech, Furman, Louisiana Tech, and can't get 9 touchdowns in 3 games, or let's just say 7 touchdowns in 3 games, you're not really showing or flexing your muscle out there at all. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Charles David says the Gamecocks aren't winning more than 6 games. Let's see here. What else do we got? Baylorman says top 2, then drop off. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that. With you on that altogether. I like that. You can make an argument for that it's Alabama and I guess Ohio State. Tired of hearing the Ohio State fans though. They think they fucking invented football. It's just not my thing anymore, man. Just stop it. Win. That's kind of where I'm at with them. All right, 803-470-2905. You want to sound off on the coach that lost his job? I think that's a big deal. We'll also take your calls where you can join the program. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join the program. Do you think Tennessee should have been ranked? Would you rather have them in over Ole Miss, who has the potential to be better? Some people will make the argument that Tennessee's schedule might be a little bit tougher than Ole Miss's because they've got to play Georgia and Alabama, 2 teams that are inside the top 4. Whereas Ole Miss has to play Alabama, but they don't have Georgia. So, yeah, it could be that too. Big Barney Ross says if Kentucky cuts its turnover down by half, we'll make a bowl game. By the way, this is the highest ranked that Kentucky has been in the preseason poll in program history. Dennis Wilson says, heard it here first. Miami is winning the ACC ship and Natty in a couple of years. Okay. Big Bernie Ross says, how do you rank a 7-win team? Yeah, I think Kentucky goes to a bowl. I don't think that's that far-fetched. think Tennessee goes to a bowl too. But the idea that Tennessee's going 12-0 and all that shit, yeah, let's just slow down on that a little bit. All right, 803-470-2905. Jay, now this is a bold statement. This year's UGA team will be better than last year's UGA team. Are we talking about on offense or on defense? Because defensively, they were one of the best defenses I've ever seen in the past 15 years. They really, really were. I don't know if Screech can generate more offense for them. We'll have to see. Old number 7 says UGA fans are delusional. Crazy. I got like something stuck in my teeth from my salad earlier. Ugh. It's like a piece of lettuce. Anyway. Big Bunny Ross says, no, last year's was phenomenal. One every 100 years. Jay says UGA returns more production on offense and defense. I'm not saying there's not talent there, Jay. Let's make sure we put that out there. But the guys that made a lot of those plays last year, they all got freaking drafted. So there's that. Papa B says, can Kentucky win at home versus Mississippi State? Look, I think Mississippi State, they've got a bunch of returning guys too. So Mississippi State's a team that when you look at them, they have a lot of stuff returning. Offense was great. Will Rogers is the quarterback not very many people know about. But in my opinion, I think they're going to be a lot better than people think. If I not better, they could go 8-4. Shout out to Jimmy, says being better does not equate to more wins. Yeah. South Carolina's kind of in the same boat. They could go 6-6 and be better than they were last year. 2905 803-470-2905. That is the number to dial if you would like to join the program. As we talk about the number of SEC and ACC teams in the mix here, I think that I'm not buying so much into Pitt. You know, just not buying it. So, it's just my opinion. I think that they could do a little better than they have to put more wins up there, in my opinion. I'm just not buying them in their as far as being ranked that high. I know they won the ACC last year, but I'm just not feeling it. What was it? Jay says, just giving an early heads up. What does he say up there? Sack leader's still there and you don't even know his name. Are you talking about Channing Tyndall? I don't know. Maybe I could be mistaken on that. Papa B says Will Rogers had the third best season for a quarterback last year in SEC history. Okay. Where did that put them though? I don't know. Can Georgia get up for their game in Starkville? Because State will be up for it. Well, I think Georgia's got the mentality of they're going to get everybody's best shot, right? I mean, when you're the champ, you're going to get everybody's best shot. So I don't think Georgia's got issues getting up for anyone, But I mean, they are kids though. You can't get excited, I guess. But last year's team, man, there's so much talent on that defense. I mean, even the most ardent Georgia fan will tell you game management from Bennett and the offense, just, go out there and be consistent. Don't go out there and throw a bunch of damn picks. But the reality is that that defense was going to carry him regardless. All right. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Old number 7 PS says, got to give Kirby one thing. Fewest players arrested prior to the first game. Maybe Kirby Smart's figuring it out down there. I don't know. Sometimes some of the shit these guys get into is just dumb. It's not like they're all out there. I mean, he did have the issue where they did lead the conference in rape accusations last year, but sometimes some of this stuff is just stupid. Jason says UGA doesn't need to get up to play Mississippi State. If they remember, Mississippi State gave them a hard game the last time they played. Look, and I think that Mike Leach is one of the coaches, and he's going to attack that defense, and he's going to go out there and do what they normally do. He's got the mind for that. The question is can their defense stop the Georgia offense a good bit? Because they're going to play bully ball. They're going to play bully ball a little bit and try to run the ball and, keep that offense off the field. That's what Kirby Smart's going to do. If they can stop the run, then hopefully Rodgers gets out there and he can make some plays. Billy says Josh Heupel has figured it out. He didn't figure it out enough to get his team ranked in the first coaches poll. They are not ranked, sir. Houston's ranked. Tennessee is not. I mean, I know that sounds kind of bad, but that's the truth. The team that they're not giving a shot in hell of winning, Pitt is ranked. Tennessee is not. Kentucky's ranked. Cincinnati's ranked. Wake Forest is ranked. Why is Tennessee not here? I have people telling me that Tennessee's going 12-0. I don't see Tennessee ranked, though. Fish and Football says you have to throw to beat UGA, and Mississippi State can throw. Okay. Baylorman says Houston is a group of 5 team to beat this season. I can see that. Papa B says Alabama minus 31 versus Utah State. How do you bet? Is that week 1? I would probably take Utah State and get the 31 points. I have a hard time with giving up that many points. Because Nick Saban, he's going to go out there and try to win. To win by 31, though, I mean, you're having to score a lot. I think you're going to have some pick sixes and all that to make it go. Jay's comment, I'm highlighting it here because it's great. Going to Mississippi tends to bring sympathy to the teams that visit. Seeing all that poverty at ground level, kids should be blindfolded until they get to the stadium. Good point, sir. Good point. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. Billy says, I have a question. If I told you a year from now that one SEC coach gets fired this year, who do you think it would be? Well, let's do the math here. In the East, I mean, I don't think Kentucky's losing their coach. Clarklee's not going anywhere. Shane Beamer's not going anywhere. Kirby Smart's not going anywhere. Billy Napier's just getting started. Heupel's not going anywhere. So in the East, I would say Drinkowitz. In the West, as far as getting fired, man, I mean, Saban's not going anywhere. LSU's got their new coach. Texas A&M might get pissy and get rid of Fisher, but he cost them a shit ton of money, so his contract will keep him there. Mike Leach could fly off the handle and lock somebody in a barn or whatever the hell he did at Texas Tech. He might be a guy that goes away. But Auburn, that's a good point there, Baylor man. Auburn may be they wanted Harsin fired anyway. The thing that would be absolutely great is if Harsin went out there, won 10 games this season and upset Alabama, and then looked at that Auburn faithful and said, you know what? Fuck you. You guys made all this comments about me and said that I was screwing around and all that. I'm going to go coach somewhere else. Have a nice day. Deal with it. And by the way, I'm taking all these players that I got with me because of the whole transfer portal thing. We're going to leave you guys back in the Stone Ages. You'll go 3-9 next year. That would be great. That would be great. Just because if you go behind the scenes of what happened down there at Auburn, where there was just so many lies told about Harsin. And I'm not a Harsin fan, but I do like to see, especially big mouth boosters that don't know jack shit about football, that don't go to practice every day, but they go to the couple of little practices they have set up where, boosters can come in and take a peek. It's, glad handing and stuff like that. I give $50,000 to the university. I should have a say in who the coach is. It'd be nice to watch those people get kicked in the man cunt. That would make me happy. That would make me really happy. Big Barney Ross says Missouri is not a dark horse. It's gray on old gray mare that needs to be turned into glue. the one horse that you always want to bet on in a horse race is the one that's losing I'm glue. Yep, I'll bet on that horse. Papa B also says Florida State's Mike Norvell closely follows. Jeff Collins will be the first coach fired this season. I don't think they're firing Jeff Collins in the middle of the season. We may be talking about him on the Monday after Thanksgiving. Yeah, that may happen after Georgia wallops them by 28 points in their annual. What do they call it? The good old fashioned hate, whatever the hell it is they're called. That may happen too. Dino Babers. The thing with Dino Babers is that it's a completely different world up there at Syracuse. I mean, they care about football, but then they kind of don't. Syracuse doesn't really make any problems. There's nothing that's bringing disheartenment to the university. He may get another year. Clean old fashioned hate. Very good. Drinkowitz is the first coach fired. Yeah. I don't think Collins is going anywhere until the season is over, though. Just my opinion. Could be some changes there, but these coaches now, man, they're getting these huge buyouts where they're having to pay so much money to these guys for them to go somewhere else and coach. Universities can't do that anymore. Daddy O's correct. Football is a time space filler at Syracuse until basketball season. Yeah. Papa B also says Dino still has Garrett Schrader. Don't sleep on them. All right. I'm just of the opinion that, football doesn't really matter up there. Syracuse almost falls into, they have more tradition than Vanderbilt. They have more tradition than a lot of other schools. But they're almost at the point now where if a coach really wants to be there, like Derek Mason wanted to be at Vanderbilt, should have gave him a lifetime contract. Same thing with David Cutcliffe. He wanted to be at Duke. Give him a lifetime contract. So, Fish and Football says too much turnover with coaches and the fan bases. Force it being impatient. Old number 7 says coaches don't matter much anymore. It's money for the players. Yeah. But coaches are also in the mix too, where, and I know I'm sounding like I'm the old man on the hill, but getting to a bowl game used to be a big deal. Now everyone goes to a bowl game, and that's not really a good benchmark anymore. Yeah, we went to a bowl game. So did everybody else. And it's not what it used to be. It's really not. Billy says if Clemson finishes first, who finishes second in the entire ACC? Well, the different divisions, I don't know who. I mean, on paper, you would say Miami is going to win the Coastal, but the Coastal's hot dog water. You never know. Papa B likes Virginia. Why not? You can put whoever the hell you want there other than Duke and Syracuse. You can make an argument for all of them. Fish and Football says New Year's 6 appearances used to be a great accomplishment. So, yeah, there's that too. But the second best team in the ACC would probably be, if you told me to really pick them, I know everyone loves NC State, but I'm telling you, Wake Forest is a pretty good team. They got a great coach. The problem that they have is that the system that they got, and it's going to be interesting because that's the first game that Clemson plays after that suck 3 that they start with, where they got to go to Winston-Salem and play Wake Forest. Those guys, I'm sure Dave Clawson has that circled on the schedule, and he's ready to have his guys amped up for that. Now, can the new Clemson defensive coordinator do what Brent Venables did? Venables had that offense figured out at Wake Forest, where they do the whole thing with delayed quarterback draws and all of that. Can the new defensive coordinator for Clemson, can he go out there and keep them right? And basically, the key to stopping Wake Forest is stopping the running game. If you make Hartman throw the ball a lot, he's going to throw picks. He's shown that. But if you stop that running game, Clemson should be fine. Now, on the other hand, a lot of other teams haven't really figured out Wake Forest yet. and they're going to have issues with them. They run a gimmick type offense, not like Tennessee gimmick, but it's just a weird, like flex bone, weird kind of way that they do things where guys are in motion. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. Fishing says, stop sleeping on Pitt. They return everything but Pickett and Addison, and Slovis is going to be good. Well, he wasn't really good last year. Who's he going to throw the ball to? I mean, here's the thing with Pitt. They come out and they beat Tennessee. All right, they can springboard that into another good season. But on the other hand, I just feel like, man, that's kind of a jumping game for them. And same thing for Tennessee. I think it's the most pivotal game for both teams because you go out and you win that game heading into conference play, basically. Oof. I think the game day should be there for that game. I don't even know the other games on the schedule that week. Can we look at that really quick here? We can do that. Here we go. What do they play week 2? Help me out, chat room. Who is that? You guys are normally on top of things there. Hold on. Hello, son. Hold on a second, bud. Dad's doing something. I'll talk to you in just a second. But here's the big thing. I'm trying to bring up the actual schedule for that week, and ESPN is failing as usual because they have to show me a soccer match promo. I'd rather get the clap than watch soccer. Sorry. I know people like it, but it's just not really my thing. All right, where is it? Where they used to have like on top up here. What the hell? Let's try that one. Nope, that's not what we want. They have the Canadian Football League where you can access the schedule for that, but not the college football stuff. And I'm trying to find it. Give me a second. X Games, chalk, cricket. Maybe it's under just college sports. Let's try that. What a mess. Okay, college sports. What the hell is going on here? I'm trying to find the actual schedule for that week. Give me just a moment here. If I know we were going to talk about this, I would have had it up front. Oh, there we go. It's like it shows you how much ESPN cares. They got all this crap before you can even get to the college football schedule. So I think that's week 2 with the Tennessee Pitt matchup, right? Let's see here. Week 2. You got Alabama at Texas. Where is it? Tennessee at Pitt. So here's your game, your big games that week on Saturday. Alabama at Texas, South Carolina at Arkansas. I'm trying to find another game Tennessee at Pitt. They'll probably go to Alabama and Texas just because, that they want to get at Texas at the beginning of the season because Texas is going to be like mosquitoes. They're going to go away come October. I think there isn't any other really big games that week. You can do Kansas, West Virginia. What a crap hole that is. Kentucky at Florida. That might be a good matchup there. Might be some fun. I'm looking at the rest of the games that are on the schedule here. Texas Southern at North Texas. There's a barn burner. Mississippi State at Arizona. Yeah, why is Mississippi State going to Arizona? That makes no sense. Anyway, Boston College at Virginia Tech. There's your ACC game of the week right there. Jay says, Rob, getting the clap as you watch soccer would be a double negative. Good point, sir. Depending on who gave you the clap. What other team would South Carolina rather draw the West besides Arkansas? Well, that was their permanent matchup at one point was Arkansas, and then it kind of went away. But, South Carolina would have another SEC win every season since 2012, because Arkansas has been the shits ever since. Big Barney Ross says Ole Miss. Yeah, they haven't been really, really great. Great last year, but they're rebuilding. Kiffin's down there trying to do his thing. And South Carolina's played well against Mississippi State. I don't know. I think that when the expansion comes, I wonder how they're going to do all that. So, yeah, Billy says, does anybody know how the SEC is doing divisions when Texas and Oklahoma join? I don't know. It would make sense to put them in the West and then move Bama to the east, but I don't know. We'll see how that works out. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. I'm Rob Sanders, joining you here in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm on Twitter at Rob Sounds Good. You can follow me there. I tweet out some stuff every now and then. You can also join the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. If you know your football or think you know your football, I know a lot of you guys have already gotten in. And I tell you what, there's like a week 0 games, I think is what Jackpot's calling them. And I think he wants to pick games for that week, Saturday, August the 27th. So we're technically 19 days away. And you can get, let's see if there's actually lines on some of these games. See if we can pick up lines on them early here. And it's a fluid contest, by the way. But let's see if there's lines on some of these things here really quick. Yeah, here you go. NCAA football. We use the website, VegasInsider.com. Las Vegas odds, week 1. So yeah, there are some games there for August, the 27th? So you've got Nevada's a 17.5 point favorite over New Mexico. Austin P and Western Kentucky, no line. Northwestern and Nebraska, no, there's a line there, 9.5. Utah State is a 33 point favorite over UConn. That's on August 27th. Wyoming is a 9 point favorite or 9 point dog to Illinois. Ugh. Old Santa Claus up there. That's what Lovie Smith looks like, Santa Claus now. Duquesne and Florida State. Wow, what terribleness that is. Charlotte and Florida Atlantic. 5.5 point line there with the Owls as a favorite. The North Texas Mean Green are a 5 point favorite over UTEP. Vanderbilt is a 1 point favorite over. They opened up as a 1 point favorite over Hawaii. And by the way, that's what we opened up with in our Pick'em Challenge. It is the opening line. Sometimes the line will change. As Vanderbilt is now a 7 point favorite. They started out at 1, now it's up to 7. But we go with the first line that comes out on VegasInsiders.com. And then that's it on the 27th. So we're probably not going to get lines on Idaho State and UNLV or Austin P and Western Kentucky. That's an Ohio Valley Conference matchup there. But we'll probably have 5 games that week. So there's that. And here's the thing. I think we're going to set it up where you want to get in before the first game start, but we'll accept entries up until the first real set of games. What I mean by that is that the first set of matchups for Labor Day weekend. You have a much better chance of winning if you get in on the week 0 stuff. So for those of you that are holding back your $20, if you're waiting on that, hey, get after it. Get in now. The link is in the show description. If you enjoyed the show today, you appreciate the the time to you appreciate what I did today, please tip the show. The objective is to get enough money to cover my golf that I'm going to play on Friday. Playing golf with some friends of mine on Friday. So that's the objective by the end of the week. Have enough money to cover golf, which is funny. RoseSanders1979 at gmail.com. Cash App is $RobRadio1. Venmo is Rob and Stuff. Jackpot and I'll be back at it on Wednesday. I will do a show for you tomorrow. There you go. I appreciate you guys as always. And thank you for checking out the show, and we'll see you later on.